If I can be anything in life, be kind and be a good person. Hello. There are only a few days left until 2026, so I'm starting a special mini-series. Each day, I will take myself on a little solo date and reflect on a different part of my life. I have realized that reflections is just as important as planning, because vision makes you move forward. But before that, you need to understand where you are now. That's why year-end reflections have become a tradition I always keep recently. In this vlog, you will get simple solo date ideas and journal prompts on health, career, relationships, and self-development. So, follow along!
I see white, a road is a hazard in you, glowing light, contrast in the dark between us. I see why your mom says you're hard-headed as you deny the cruel.
Alright, now it's time to reveal what questions I'm gonna use to reflect on my mental and physical health, because honestly there's so many things to dive into. I would feel very overwhelmed if I try to write out literally every single thing. So I decided to have about 4 or 5 questions just to answer tonight only, so that I never feel like I don't have enough time to get the thing done. Because in the past few years, I always run out of time, or don't have enough time to reflect on things, and I always feel like I am not doing enough with reflection. But this year I don't want to stress myself. I just have 4 or 5 questions. I can answer as long or short, whatever, as long as I have time to think about, learn from it, show appreciations. That's enough. I don't want to set too much expectation for myself about the reflection. Okay, so this is the list of the questions that I have planned for myself, and I think you should write out if this something might be relevant for you. So first of all, about mental and physical health reflections, we have: where did my body surprise me or challenge me this year? Oh wow. There's a lot to say about that. Then the second question is that what tested my mental strength this year? So the first question is more about your physical, your own body. And then the second one is more about your mental health, your mind, and what challenged you. The next question, kind of follow up to the second question, is what actually helped me rise again? So you talk about challenge and you think about what have you go through that challenge. I have this last question, quite interesting, is that what self-care routines actually have me this year. This last question is to look overall of your routines, what you have done this year, and then learn from it to see what you will keep doing next year and what you should reduce doing or what you should take on. So yeah, I think this will not be too much for me to do tonight. And now I will spend some time for myself with tea, with fruit, with good music, and we're gonna see each other again where I share with you the reflections on this topic. Okay, my reflection session is done, and I just want to tell you what I have written down in this journal. It's very, very long, honestly, but let me just quickly point out some interesting things as I would love to share with you. So the first one is about where did my body surprise me or challenge me this year. To be honest, I think in the past 5 years, I would say, this year was the most challenging for my physical health. In the beginning of the year, I went through quite like 2 or 3 minor surgeries, and then in mid of the year I have a very small injury, and then all those things prevented me from having actual workout for even months. As a person who have worked out a lot, these obstacles or like surgery injuries had really destroyed my mental health too, because I always had the expectation for myself that you need to move like 3 or 4 times per week and then always move your body. Couldn't let me to move at all. I firstly felt really bad about myself, disappointed. Halfway through, I slowly make peace with the current situation, that of course there's nothing I can do because my body is a bit injured. It wasn't fully healed, so of course I need to rest. It didn't come that easy that way. But then halfway through, I start to like be a bit easier on myself. And then when my body is ready back again, I realized that, hey, this is reality. This is life. You are not like 24/7 or like forever healthy without any injury. That's not realistic at all. So I need to accept that in the future there might be some incident happened. I have to be really gentle with my health, with my body, and let it rest, because the earlier my body fully heals, the sooner I can go back to exercise. Oh yeah, I need to tell you that so after all of these doubts, I finally have the ups in the end of the year that, after a long breaks and very inconsistent workout program, in November, I decided to commit in like 10 weeks mind and body challenge. Basically, I try to journal as much as possible and then work out 5 times per week. Okay, I would say 5 times per week might not be possible for everyone, but at least for me, I want to push myself to do so, because I usually do 3 or 4 times. But then after the break, to really quit the challenge, I pushed to 5 times per week. And yeah, I commit to all 8 weeks so far. The streak has been very consistent. I'm happy with myself, and I can see that I really prioritize like moving my body. I don't let any other plan or special personal work to get into my workout time. So I'm so proud of myself for that. Then what tests my mental strength this year? Okay, as mentioned, that injury or surgeries affected my mental health, but there's something else as work also really affects my mental health, was the change of managers and like the constant change at work in the beginning of the year. And I also study for the fitness exam at the same time during the first and second quarter of the year. So that was like the dark time of the year when I worked for 8 hours per day, followed by about 2 or 3 hours of studying. It was like almost every day, even at weekend, I still studied. So it was a super intense month, and I feel really bad. Like I just thought that I am not doing well with my exam preparations. I also feel like I'm not doing enough as work, and the whole energies I'm showing up was so negative. To one point, my boyfriend just like, hey, honestly, you are a little bit negative lately. It's not like he's criticizing me, but he just wants to like make sure that I notice that there's some change in my energy, in my mood. And when he told me that, it's like a wake-up call for me, that I was like, oh my god, yeah, like the way I talk, the story I shared, what I focus on, everything was so negative about I'm not doing enough, I was doing bad. But in reality, I'm making progress at my Finnish skills. I also try my best so far as work. So there's good side in what I'm doing then, but my brain just focuses on all the negative possibility or scenarios. And then it's really waking me up. And to be frank, when I was in the middle of that time, then nothing else I could do much rather than just trying to study and get the exam done. And then I will have more time in my life to actually rest, to think about everything else and enhance my performance at work. So I literally just know like, okay, so in the next 1 month or 2 months, I would just accept the fact that I would just study. I don't have to stress myself on performance better in like social media and other things. Just focus on get this one thing done is the exam. And then I will solve the other things later on. And yeah, by summer, when the exam was over, I really have more like time and also mental space to, pause and reflect again and look at the whole performance of my life. I also do something at work. I contacted my managers and asked for his feedback, and it turned out that all the worries I have at work were just something like imagination in my brain, because he didn't question my performance at all. But I just like have those fears, those overthinking thoughts in my brain. So sometimes fear just sits in my brain. It's not even real at all. So I have learned that about my mental breakdown. And I really think that when you feel heavy and everything is just on the shoulder, I need to talk things out. I need to share it with someone, to a person that I trust. Because first of all, they might bring different perspective. Maybe they can also actually pull me down to what even real. Like they will set me down, or like they will kind of like pull me back to reality, to stop sitting in the world of thoughts, usually very negative. And I think when you talk to someone, you also feel much less lonely. And the last questions I reflected on was, what self-care routine actually helped me this year? Well, so I have been doing a lot of like self-care routine for many years, but this year there was one outstanding new thing that I tried was during the summer. Like in Finland, you have Juhannus, is like the longest summer day or longer day of the year, and usually it's a long break in Finland. So I took like a week off from work and drove to the Mökki, which is summer cottage, with my boyfriend, and we stayed there with Tiger, the dog. And then the special thing is that because it's so far from the city, it was literally in the middle of the forest, the Mökki itself, we didn't really have internet, so we decided to like just put our phone away. We didn't care about notifications or anything at all. Like our day was just like we woke up when we wanted, and then we just go with our body flow, how we naturally feel like we want to do. Like, okay, woke up, we go out for a walk, and then when we felt hungry, we made breakfast, and then we did some like garden work or something in the Mökki, and then we make lunch. We didn't even take a look at the clock. The reason why I want to tell you in so detail of what we have done there is because you can see that the huge change in the daily flow when I live in Mökki. Like no phone, no clock, just go with the flow, and it really calmed me down. It's really released all the stress I had before. It's made me realize, hey, I don't need social media every day. I don't need touching my phone every single second. I'm not missing out on anything, and I just know that focusing on my own peace, my own time is the best way to feel happy in life. And also after that Mökki week, it led me this season to actually have no scrolling weekend. I tried for like 2 months constantly, and then I have learned a lot about it. You can watch this vlog to know more about the result. And by now I still try to have about 1 day as weekend that I don't touch my phone very often. Right now I feel so happy when I don't have to use phone. This is one of the best self-care routine that I started this year. Alright, but overall I can see that this year mental health, physical health wasn't like perfect, and I didn't start the year with full like goals I did the year before. It was so funny, like in 2024 I have the goals for finish a half marathon and so on, but this year I have absolutely nothing nothing for physical health and mental health. So I think this is actually a smart move, because if I put myself too much on my expectation, I will for sure feel disappointed by the end of the year. But this year, I still keep my strong foundations of eating good food, exercise, build a better relationship with technology, with social media, and I feel like I understand much more what's important in my life. I'm truly grateful for that, and wow, when I think about that, when I reflect on that, I feel like this year wasn't that bad at all. Right? I learned and I grow, even though I didn't have too much ambitious goal, but still. So that's so great. I really hope that you have some time to reflect on your health this year, because I bet in the end you're gonna learn something. And right now, I just feel pretty grateful for my body, for this mental health, for my mind, from everything that I'm having right now. It just allows me to do everything that I wanted. It's just amazing. Hello everyone, welcome back to another day. Today is Sunday. On the day when I'm filming, it's only 25 days left until 2026. So of course, I want to do some reflections. But before that, this morning, I woke up at 8 a.m. and then I went for a quick workout. In this new building, they have a small workout or like gym on the 7th floor. And I think that's absolutely convenient for me on the day like this when I don't have a lot of time, but I still want to move my body like a pull or push workout. That workout room is perfect for me. Okay, so the 25 day 11 to 2026, few days ago, I do the reflections on my health, mental and physical health. And today I want to reflect on my career so far, because this year there has been so many changes in my careers. We're gonna talk in detail later, but I want to go out to the city center, eat good soup, because nothing better than a good soup during a gray winter day, because it's Korea. So I might go to a bookstore, buy something, because I feel like it related to knowledge or anything. And then I will go home or go to coffee shop to reflect, and I just want to walk you through what I would do, what kind of journal prompt I use, and it's so time for me to share with you a little bit what my career journey has been so far this year.
Dear Santa, tell me that you'll make it here in time. Yeah, this boy is on my mind. The number one thing on my wish list. Oh, Santa, tell me you know that I've been good. I put the lights up just for you. You're the only one who can make my dreams come true. I could see the end until he looked my way.
I was filming myself talking, but completely unaware that my mic wasn't working at all. By then, I already given up on finding Christmas gifts from my friends because nothing really clicked. So I escaped the chaos and walked in the rain to my favorite bookstore in Helsinki. It's one of the biggest bookstores here, and they have so many English books to choose from. I have no idea what I wanted, so I wandered around twice before finally choosing a safe option. And still, I had no clue my mic was dead, so I was talking to the camera in public, slightly embarrassed but committed. No voice recorded, but honestly, I'm proud of myself for facing the social fear and getting the shot anyway. In the end, I picked up the third book in the Seven Sisters series. I read the first book in 2024 and the second book in 2025. So I guess it's become a little year-end tradition to continue the journey from now on. Before heading home, I stumbled into the art sections and found something completely unexpected. It's my first time picking up a book like that, so I can't wait to dive into the news read soon.
Maybe it's crazy, but he makes it feel like Christmas every day. I wait under the mistletoe, hoping that he'll swoop in like an old mother. I keep on dreaming of his face. He just melts my heart away. I'm all glittery 'cause he makes it feel like Christmas every day.
So now I'm gonna have my dinner, and after that, there will be the reflection session for today. I'm done with meal prep and dinner. Today I actually tried a new recipe. And yes, next time I will share with you because today I was a bit lazy to film during doing my meal prep. And now I will pair a cup of detox juice and the cake I just bought today as a gift for myself for doing reflection. So I'm so excited for that. You know, sometimes I love buying just a little thing or do something just to excite myself, because I think that's the art of romanticizing your life, right? So you can just sit on the chairs and do reflections, but there is something like once in a while and I want to make it feel much more special. So I bought my favorite cake pastry just to make myself feel so special about that. So I am that kind of person that I love making little things to make my life feel a little bit more special, I would say. So for the juice, I have 3 main ingredients. This is celery, apples, and orange juice. So now the reflection sessions start, and I have 4 questions about career that I want to reflect on. So first of all, what am I most proud of accomplishing in my career this year, even big or small? The second one is what obstacles did I face and what did they teach me about myself and my work style? The next one is which moments at work brought me the most satisfaction and which drain me? Oh, I think this is a very good question to reflect on so that it can prepare myself for next year. And the last question is what new skills, habits, or knowledge did I develop and that I want to carry into the next year? So I can see that the first 2 questions was more about reflecting on what happened this year, what I learned. The last 2 are a bit more forward thinking, like what I can carry into the next year. So now I will spend some time drinking the detox juice, eating the cake while journaling down all of the things that happened in my career this year, and I will share with you later. I'm done with the reflections. It took me about only 20 or 30 minutes to gather all my thoughts on the career topic this year, and now I'm really excited to share with you some of them, not everything, because of course there's thing I need to keep it a bit private, you know. One of the things that me feel the most proud of accomplishing this year is that I got promoted to a more senior role in my path, and I think this is pretty a big thing after working for 3 years. And also, one thing that's super important is that this year I really understood what I need in my earlier career, and I actually work to achieve what I want to have. And to be more specific, I want to work in the environment where my people skills can be developed more, and that's when I realized the remote work setup isn't for me, at least for now when I'm in my early career. And because of that, I decided to find the environments that will help me to develop further the skill and also my other skill sets in this path. I'm also pretty proud of that this year I led more operation projects and I feel much more confidence in my own ability. I felt much more comfortable when I raised my opinion, my voice in a room full of experienced people. And I think that's super important, especially when you are young in your career, to feel confidence about myself, and that led you to speak up your voice. And because of that, people also perceive you much more when you actually have your own opinion and sharing about your thoughts, and also they can see your skill more when you raise your voice. So that is something I'm so proud of accomplishing this year. And yes, I do face quite a lot of obstacles at work. It is the fact that I changed managers 3 times this year, and especially one time was totally unexpected. I just heard that I would change to a new team and I have a new manager. It took time for me to adapt to new managers. It's put me in the constant stress that I don't know how the new manager thought about me, about my performance. And the thing is, the laid off and unemployment rate this year was super high. And I'm a foreigner in Finland, so nothing worse than get laid off. So that's why I had been pretty anxious for a while. I think I told in one of the videos before that at some point I decided to do something about that. So I invited him to a meeting to gather his feedback, and I also gathered feedback from other colleagues that have been working with me for many years. And then it turned out that the feedback was pretty positive, and he could also see more of how I collaborate with other people. The lesson learned here is that yes, you might feel anxious at work because of change, and you need to do something about it, especially about the feedback culture. Or like I learned that I really need feedback, and if you don't receive feedback, don't sit and do nothing. Instead, like ask for it actively. And I actually learned that it's not so bad. People actually appreciate my work, and this is a very, very big lesson for me to apply in the future. That's don't sit and do nothing. Stay active at work and ask for feedback to grow. What made me feel satisfied at work? I think because I work in operations, like sales, marketing is operations. So what satisfies me is always when I wrote out a new process or automation that's actually enhance the tracking analysis. It just feels so great when you actually optimize something. On the other hand, because when I have the expectation for myself to increase efficiency all the time, I also have the same expectation for myself to always be so productive and efficient. There's so many people come to me and request for change improvement all the time, regardless how important or even relevant it is to the business. It drained me a lot when I received a flood of requests and I feel like I couldn't catch up with them. That's why I have learned this year to create a system for people to come to me and send the requests, which is really, really important for me. But then people actually have time to process how big the request is when they send it out. And also I have learned treat them like task by task, like set the expectation, review the capacity and how much time needed. And that is a very professional way, because instead of take on every yes, you pause and you identify what mattered the most to the business with your managers before you say yes to people. And people also understand of why you don't proceed right now, because they see the list of things I have to work on. So I have learned this year to set expectation from other people when they come to me with requests, and get more authority in managing them, say yes or no. And I think it's a very, very huge level up in my career. And also one last thing I have learned this year to use AI at work. I know there's a lot of moral things about AI. Try to use it in a way that leverage my work. They say like AI gonna take your work, but if you know how to use AI properly, it can be a great tool for you to leverage your own work and performance at work. And I have learned to use pretty okay that this year, and I believe that there's a lot of room for me to learn about AI at work, but that would be the goal for next year. Alright, so I think that the year with the most and biggest change since I start working, and I'm glad that those things happened because it taught me so many things like skill, lessons, understand about my need from the change of managers, change of the team, and even change of the company. I do get a clearer picture of what career path I want to follow, what kind of people I want to work with, and what kind of environment I want to meet for a long time and actually thrive. I know that there are so many things happening unexpectedly, but I do see that in the end at this moment right now, all the change, all the last big change happened was because of me chose to change. Like I was a person who chose to change to a new roles with a new team in a new company because I know that would be better for me. In that case, I wasn't in the seat that wait to be changed, but I actually actively seek for it, and I'm so proud of it. Thinking about next year, about the future, of course, I feel really positive right now, and I want to apply all the lessons I have learned in this year to next year. And thinking about 2026, this is a great time for me to start collaborate with different stakeholders more effectively, and to bring the authority, to bring my ability to enhance the work, to be a great contributor to the company. Because it's new, I am a new person, and it's people really welcome new ideas, and that's a great point for me to actually show the new suggestions which actually gonna bring the enhancement at work. Thank you so much for listening, and now I'm gonna just get ready to sleep, and we're gonna see you in next day, the last countdown day that I do reflections, and we're gonna have a lot of interesting to do together. It's the 23rd of December, one day before Christmas, and we're lucky enough to have the sun shining today. I took a self-care day off work so I could slow down and give myself the space to reflect on my relationships and my personal growth this year. Lately, I found myself making Vietnamese coffee again. I don't restrict myself from coffee anymore, and honestly, I love it. The smell of Vietnamese coffee beans always brings me back home. It feels familiar and comforting. Okay, enough obsessing over how beautiful my apartment looks when the sun hits just right. It's time to sit down, take my journal note, and reflect on my relationships and my self-growth this year. Here's the journal prompt I'm starting with today. Regarding relationship, these questions help me slow down and look at my relationships more honestly, what my connections taught me about myself, and which moments truly matter. Then, looking at the overall life and grow, these prompts help me to zoom out and look at the bigger picture, what I'm proud of, what challenged me and shaped me, and the mindsets I want to carry into the next one. Now, I will start journaling and share with you the tea later. I know it's very funny, but midway through my journaling sessions, I was pretty hungry. Right now it's like 12. So I decided to order something home. I have to say that this year I barely ordered anything. The only time I ordered was when we moved the apartment, for example. But today I was like, hey, I really want to relax with journaling. I don't want to rush myself like to finish before lunch. So I decided that I would order home something nice. And as always, it would be Vietnamese food. I decided to take bánh mì, and at first I was thinking of also take some drink with me like a bubble tea or sugarcane juice, but then I was like, it's quite not on my agenda. Instead, I can make myself matcha at home and enjoy it. So yeah, this will be my order. I will order it now, and it's gonna be at my doorstep. Ta-da! That's my lunch, and Les is with me now. I love Vietnamese food so much. I'm done with journaling today, but before sharing the tea with you, I needed to head to the mall to grab the last Christmas gifts for my friends before the stores close. I'm so excited because I believe my friends will love these gifts. I also stopped by Levi's store and unexpectedly got these free closing stickers. The staff was so sweet. It really reminded me how warm people feel during this Christmas season. After getting a new lipstick and Christmas flower, I finally came home to wrap my boyfriend's gift. It's been sitting in our apartment for months and somehow he never noticed it. Giving these secrets wasn't hard after all. I really hope he will like it, and honestly, I'm also excited for my gift too. Oh my gosh, like what a shopping. You know what, like first of all, I took my jackets to the dry wash, and then I got the compliments from the girl that my makeup looked pretty nice and my skin looks so healthy and so on. I was so blushed when I heard that. It was so cute. And then I went to the Levi's store and then I got those stickers for free. Like I was asking like, hey, do you sell it? And then I was about to like pay, and then he was like, no, you can take it for yourself, it's free. And I was like, what? People are just so nice. Like maybe it's holiday feeling. And then then I met a guy, said he's like working in a NGO for a non-profit organization. We talked for a while and I decided to donate monthly. It's just like, what a shopping walk. Like, I didn't expect all of these sweet things, all of these conversations happen at all. I was just like, okay, now I need to go buy stuff. And I was just walking around and then now so many cute things happen. Okay, anyway, now I'm back and I just wanted to quickly share with you what I have journaled about my relationships and self-growth this year. Overall, I feel this year have been very sweet to me regarding all my friends, all of the relationships. I still maintain all the relationship with my best friends. The great thing is that this year, I think now almost all my best friends met my boyfriend, for example, and then I have a short time stay with my friend when I was in between two apartments. It was really fun experience to have like a flatmate again after many years, and then I enjoyed more events with friends like a live concert. We also like try to hang out more. We share a lot more, and the conversation now turned into a lot of adulthood issues. And I know it's scary at the same time to realize that you are in an adulthood life, but then it feels also really you have someone by yourself, like you have friends with you, someone to relate to give you advice. So I don't feel like I'm alone at all. So this year all the relationship I have maintained really well. I met new people at work. I am also thankful for knowing new managers. I've learned something from them. Also, I've had a lot more trust in the close friend relationship, and also this year has built a stronger foundation for all of these relationships, and I feel much less lonely nowadays. I really wish that next year I have more time to be closer to my family, especially my parents, because this year it wasn't easy. Yeah, so I think that I'm really lucky that I still have all the people that I need in my life here with me. Also, we have one questions about the highlight of this year, and what I wrote here is that, so there's a few events happen and I list out here all the things that I remember. The first event, obviously, is that I passed the UK exams. Yeah, I failed the first time last year, and so I went all in the beginning of this year. I'm so happy that I passed, although the process of receiving the result was a bit painful to me. Like, I have to wait for 2 months to receive the result, and the moment when I knew that my first result was lost, I was crying, was feeling a bit like no one helped me in that case, but in the end, yeah, I passed. Great, amazing. Also, I mentioned already, the highlight was wonderful market trip to have a nature life, and also the trip to Ireland this year to meet some of my high school friends, trip to Greece, a new country tick in my list, and it was a very, very beautiful country. This year, one of the big events was that I am developing, or I am pursuing my ref-off career route, as I have been preparing for years, and I'm so happy that right now I really in a ref-off team and also get senior role with the expected salary that I put for myself. And you know what? It's funny that before I got this new role throughout the years, I also rejected 2 other places. It's just quite interesting to be like in the position to reject the offer because it didn't meet the expectation. Because many years ago, I was like, when I just look for a job, I would say yes to anything. And over the years, when you build your experience, your confidence, your knowledge, your capability, is now when you can say yes or no. It depends on your choice, which is amazing in this economy, honestly. And also, I got over 150,000 followers on Instagram, and also a lot more followers on YouTube this year. Thank you so much. I didn't set any follower goal for Instagram this year, but it was just amazing. Also, the 48 challenge was a big event. Like, it really changed how I use my time nowadays. Also, I saw Aurora for the first time ever. It was in my mood board that I want to see Aurora this year. So I saw it on my random walk, and it was like I was in the city, so the light pollution was pretty bad. So I just saw a little bit of Aurora and I was too excited. It was the moment that I have never been that excited for so many years. And the moment when I saw Aurora, I was like, oh my god. But then, I wasn't that lucky. I didn't have any chance to take a photo, but it's right here in my mind. Also, I was with my boyfriend, and made this new place as my new dream home. So it was a very big event in my life. Also, I'm really thankful for having today really a rest day, the real rest day to reflect on my thoughts and everything. So it was wonderful. And so the questions about what intention on my side I want to carry into the new year. First of all, party myself in the next year. I want to continue carrying the belief that I will always figure out things in the end. So just keep pushing, just keep going and believing in myself. The second thing I want to carry with me next year is the gratitude in life, because I truly feel like gratitude make the difference between a meaningful and a meaningless life. It's also make me feel happier from the inside out, because I always choose to see the good sides in things. So keep carrying the gratitude in life. Okay, I think this is the last thing I write here that I want to carry to next year's. It carries myself the reminder to always be kind, always be a good person in life, and lead with empathy, love, and care. I truly believe that a good person always attracts good things in life. So if I can be anything in life, be kind and be a good person. Okay, so very off track here. This is not about myself, but I also wrote here and I really want to share with you that just a side note here that this year 2025 has been a very hard, cruel years to many people, especially my people in Vietnam. The flood, the storm everywhere. The countless people lost home, chose to make a living. They lost things to eat, clothes to wear. I saw news that kids lost books and places to study, and it was just crazy how life is so unfair to so many people like this. I prayed and I wish that people will send help to those unlucky people in life. I also pray that time will heal all the wounds, will connect all the lots, and bring peace to this world. And I don't know why this feels like so serious, but at this point I just got so emotional and I just think about everything in 2025, and I feel like this year has been so cruel for so many people. And lastly, I wrote here that I pray for the smile come back to the parents who's the whole family to take care of. Also the smile come back to the young people who struggle to make a living nowadays, and also the young kids who have the whole futures ahead. 2026, please be kind to all of us. Yeah, so this is the end of my year-end reflections, 3 days. So that's the end of the very long vlog to reflect on my 2025 on different topics. I really hope that you are inspired to do the same. I have the list of questions here. Also, I will put in the description so that it's easy for you to reflect. And I hope that you will have some time for these sessions even before New Year, after New Year. It doesn't matter. As long as you sit down and think about your journey, reflect on, learn from it, I think you will be at better position to start strong in a new year. Okay, thank you so much for your support. If you have been here for a while, I'm really thankful for you for staying here with me in 2025, and I hope to see you in the next year together in our growth journey. And if this is your first time here, I hope that now we are on the same journey, our self-growth journey together, and stay here because I have a lot more to share with you in the future to celebrate with you. 2025 wasn't easy for everyone, I believe, but as long as we keep going forward, things will get better. And I can't wait for 2026. Happy New Year and see you in my next video. Bye bye!